for some reason it is impossible to seemingly get them to admit that.
There we go.
We're live. Okay. Time for a new World of Warcraft game.
Yep.
Or Warcraft game of some description.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, except we actually do know, thanks to someone who found a DNS record, it's probably called Warcraft Rumble. That's what we're waiting on.
Warcraft Rumble. Interesting. Yeah.
Indeed.
To be honest, like I'm not going to say excited. That's definitely not the right word. But I am very interested to see what the hell goes on, purely because, well, I mean, it's just interesting. Right? Like, it's a bit weird. This is not what we normally get. It technically is a new Warcraft game. Then it kind of makes me think, like, is this going to be a canonical Warcraft game? And that would be weird, right? Because Hearthstone's not canon.
I would very much hope so, because I think Hearthstone being non-canon's actually pissed a lot of people off, considering how actually, it frees them up a little bit.
It's got cool shit.
Yeah, it frees them up, but it's got a load of cool development. It's like, if that effort was all put towards stuff that was canonical, the world would feel richer for it. So I feel like they would be making a mistake if they went for the non-canon route like they did with Hearthstone. I imagine it would be a mistake, but at the same time, it depends on how tight the World of Warcraft team want a grip on that canon, as opposed to letting other teams have it. Stuff like that, I guess.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is this a game made under Ian and everyone else in the Warcraft leadership team? Right? Like, surely that's a question.
Yeah, and the recent movement of... I think Holly's executive producer on World of Warcraft and World of Warcraft Classic, right?
Yeah.
But then John Haidt is a general manager of the Warcraft franchise.
Yep.
Which implies to me that the mobile game would be under his purview, but not necessarily Holly's or Ian's. Or I suppose Ian is game director of World of Warcraft and VP of World of Warcraft.
That's it,
yeah.
VP of World of Warcraft. Yeah, so I think he would have some involvement. Yeah, no, man, it's just interesting. It is interesting. Even other sides of it too, like, I am so keen to find out how this thing is monetized. I really want to know that. I think that'll tell us a lot about the sorts of things that Blizzard are actually, doing.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
If this ends up being, some people saying it's going to be a bit like Clash of Clans. So if this ends up being a Blizzard game where, you're buying a box of gems for $89.99, that's going to feel so sketch, right? So it would make you think they wouldn't do that, which then makes you think, well, what the hell will they do?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's because King's seen so much success. I feel like they will end up just kind of doing that. That's my... I don't want to say that's a fear, because it's like, what are you going to do? It's mobile game monetization. I think it's just going to happen anyway. And for those asking, the reveal is at the top of the hour, so about 23 minutes or so from now. And then we'll get to see what it is. But yeah. It's very...
Yeah, no, so... we got like 20-something minutes. I mean, to go into things then for the mobile game, what do we got? Well, we do have the image.
Yeah.
And, you look at that image, and it does make you think, what could that image be? There's some gear stuff. There's some electricity. Is it feeling goblinish? Is it feeling gnomish, right? So there's that. Here's, of course, the Warcraft Rumble, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
WarcraftRumble.blizzard.com. So we're all going to have a rumble.
It could be something else, but it almost certainly with the timing and stuff. Almost certainly.
Yeah. Now, the other thing then, apparently the Pokemon Go game actually was cancelled. Because there was two things from Jason Schreier, right? One of them was that it would be there would be a Clash of Clans inspired game and a Pokemon Go inspired game. And for some reason, I think it was Corey Stockton who was doing the Pet Battle one, which would then make me think that perhaps Tom Chilton, he was game director?
He was game director for quite a while, yeah.
So this could be a game headed up by the ex-game director of WoW. Like, shit, was Chilton not game director during Mists of Pandaria?
Yeah, I think, I can't remember when he took over the position, but he was definitely during Mists. and then handed over to Ian after Legion.
Yeah, so I mean that's certainly interesting. And that happened like that's years.
That is now almost 6 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, so like this stuff has been in development for such a long time. Though there's a lot in the mobile game graveyard, because around the same time that they cancelled the StarCraft shooter, God, was that 3 years ago?
I think
forget.
so. Long time ago, anyway.
Yeah, but around the time they cancelled that, it was also reported that a few mobile game projects in the incubation unit were also cancelled, with developers being retasked onto like Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4. Which kind of tells you, A, it's that same pool of developers. Like, it's not external stuff. And I'm sure there was a B, but I've forgotten what it is. But there is another thing, too. Mm-hmm. Like Diablo Immortal, that's, internal to Blizzard, but also, I think it's co-developed with NetEase.
Yep.
Whereas this is a wholly internally Blizzard-developed project.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think anyone who expects it to be Warcraft Immortal in the same sense of the same scope, the same size, this is the core experience you want, but it just so happens to be on phones. I think people thinking that might end up being disappointed. I feel like this will definitely be a very different project that likely won't have much to do with Warcraft gameplay. It'll likely just be kind of aping, because it is a strategy game, we know that. So it'll likely be trying to ape some of what like the strategic elements of the RTSs, but it probably won't be an RTS. So I feel like that's pretty difficult to implement correctly on mobile, especially when you get all the touch stuff. It would have to be really simple, and I don't think people would want that. Which means I feel like it's probably going to be a little bit more, how to put this, a little bit less, here's the like East Asian way of just putting a full game on a mobile and then monetizing the shit out of it, like they're doing with Immortal. This is probably going to be a more, especially because the Warcraft audience is historically a little bit NA, a little bit Asia. I think it might be a little bit more King and Candy Crush inspired, which is the.
And you're not going to make people happy with words like that.
I don't want to say that, but it's what I'm thinking. It's what I'm thinking, and maybe more than anything else, it's what I'm afraid of. I don't doubt that it'll be like at least fun, but I'm thinking it'll be more that way than the. Hey, this is core World of Warcraft on the mobile.
Yeah, so you're maybe thinking a game that is far more leaning on game mechanics rather than a game that is a humongous amount of content. Like with Immortal, that apparently is larger than Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Like technically, per what Wyatt has said, Diablo Immortal is larger than 3 and Reaper of Souls. Like it's the largest Diablo game they've made. Like that's how much is in Immortal, and it's got a full multiple act storyline with cinematics. It essentially seems to be the scope of a full Diablo game set in between 2 and 3.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I really don't. Yeah, you're right. I don't think we're going to get that for Warcraft. It's probably going to be an extremely absurdly highly polished Warcraft take on some sort of game format that we understand. Now, per Schreier, it was either Pokemon Go or it was Clash of Clans. We, of course, found out from Jez Corden that it's almost certainly not the Pokemon Go game because that apparently was cancelled early 2022. And Schreier has also, then I suppose, confirmed with his sources that it is gone as well. So yeah, what's interesting then is heard good things about both. Now you don't think of Jason Schreier and think, the guy's he's playing Candy Crush and having a whale of a time, or he's playing a Supercell game. So if he's saying he's heard good things about both, and we've talked about this before, what does that mean? Does that mean good things about the development? Because if it was that, but then the Pokemon Go one got cancelled, then maybe that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because with the Pokemon Go one, that could be a great game. But Witcher Monster Slayer? A, do you know what that is? B, who the fuck's playing that?
Oh, there's a Warcraft Arclight Rumble, apparently, is a thing that's showing up.
Arclight?
Warcraft
Arclight's banner?
Rumble. Yep. So that would explain the...
And now OBS is back?
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, we just dropped internet for a second.
Yeah, our connection dropped.
Yeah, and that wasn't even like the usual something's happened, the connection started. It literally went the whole way to 0, so sorry about that. Hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Should I go and make sure with the game team there's no uploading or anything happening?
The wouldn't drop it to 0. That was a full.
True,
That was a full cut. That was a full cut.
Right. Well, the internet.
Oh
just
yeah.
had,
Go to warcraftrumble.blizzard.com there. they've kind of jumped the gun a wee bit here.
Oh, don't tell me it's here.
There you go. There's the anticlimactic. The anticlimactic it is.
Yes! You turned it on too early!
15 minutes.
15 minutes too early! Why have you done this? Okay, here's the thing.
Yep.
Do we want to go through this? Or do we save the thing for Blizzard to do?
So I'd say probably save it for Blizzard because I am looking and I just see screenshots and everything. So, yep.
Okay, right. We'll preserve the live experience, and then I'm sure there's a whole thing to go. Yeah, people are saying save it. Okay, we'll save it.
Yeah.
Oh no! Someone hit the button too early.
That's really grim. It's.
Oh
it's,
my god, boys! Oh, Blizz.
Yeah. I'm actually. This actually annoyed me because now I just know what the game is. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Well, I didn't see enough.
Yeah.
It certainly looked like a slightly more Clash of Clans-ish take in the Warcraft art style.
Yeah.
Which, in fairness, a lot of Clash of Clans, like, you trace back the ancestry of that art style, and I think you end up hitting a bunch of things that Blizzard have done. I mean, come on, like how many game devs are constantly referencing what Blizzard do?
Indeed.
Okay. So we will definitely have something soon. I'll go to reveal.blizzard.com.
Yeah, that wasn't showing anything when I went to it a second ago, so I think they may be cutting this close to the wire.
Here it is.
Oh, is it here?
Well, here is...
Oh, yeah, it's just nothing.
Look at this.
It's nothing with a nice UX pulse.
You tap it and it pulses. Woo!
That's been there since the announcement. And I was trying to theorycraft, like, what could pulse like this? What does this mean?
How fun.
And then I decided, I'm being stupid. Let's just wait. But yeah.
Well, we're almost there.
Yeah.
Almost there. We have no idea what the game is.
Yeah.
What will it be?
Yeah,
what genre will it be in?
I don't know.
Oh, shucks.
I'm definitely not looking at literally the bullet points of the game now.
Well, that sure has given us the most brutal 14 minutes of dead air to fill. Thanks.
Yeah, all of the prep work gone.
Surely they're going to pull that site down.
Well, that's the thing.
Keep F5ing it, or I guess open it in new tab in your end and keep F5.
Point is, it's live on the Play Store. Pre-registry is up in the Play Store.
How have they done this?
They just time zone probably.
Oh man, that is so brutal.
Yeah, no, that is grim.
I kind of feel bad for the devs.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're having minor, cardiac symptoms right now.
Indeed.
That's obviously a very big thing. So I suppose we were going to speculate on the cartoony font, what genre the game could be in. Let's not destroy the team's notion. No. That would be very silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What could it be, chat? I don't know. You let me know. See, how do I get chat up properly? I need to work this.
A little pop out thing.
Oh, see, I've got the pop out. I'll put it on a separate desktop full screen.
Okay. So any chance this will be released on PC? Almost certainly not. Definitely, you look at the Immortal, you go, well, that's just a PC experience. Well, it's built for mobile, but it's like kind of a PC experience. This is very much a mobile experience. Yeah. If you could play this on PC, you probably wouldn't particularly want to. It's very much seems like it's just a game you'll want to play on mobile. I mean, sure, you'll likely emulate it, but that's the thing they said for Diablo Immortal. They said, we know you're all going to emulate it, so we just built it for PC and said, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't see them doing the same with this whatsoever.
Certainly, if this is a game made from the ground up for mobile by Blizzard's incubation unit, then they are not... You know the way there's some games, right? Like, I remember Gameloft used to do a bunch of FPSs in mobile. I don't know if they do it anymore. But that was very much a non-native genre being crammed into mobile. And I think it just so happens that touch controls can work pretty well for an ARPG.
Yeah.
But in this case, I would imagine it to be a game designed for mobile from the ground up. That would, if you want to make a mobile game, that's probably the more sensible thing to do. Yeah, I guess people are going to emulate it on PC anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's just going to happen. So
yeah, for people who literally don't have phones and want more Warcraft, yes.
Yeah,
100%.
Totally. So we are 11 minutes away from the reveal of Blizzard's next video game.
What could that be?
We have, no idea. But yeah, so a new Warcraft game. I have a feeling it's not going to be something that will contain major amounts of lore and stuff.
Not at all.
I would imagine it would be far more, they would do events themed in things that have already happened within the Warcraft universe, rather than use this as a medium to push the Warcraft universe forward. But that said, I mean, I think about some mobile games. There's a reason why Clash of Clans did well. And I think it's the idea that building a base and building an army of dudes and doing all the research trees and customizing a base, thinking about the layout, that is appealing to people. Now, it's unfortunate then that a game like that comes in and completely destroys it with the monetization model and all that.
Exactly.
But there is at its core a base building, base defense game in there that's really fun. I think about Clash Royale. That's the one where it's, you know, it's almost like some of, you know, those StarCraft or Warcraft 3 map editor tug of wars. That's kind of what Clash Royale is inspired by. And I've played Clash Royale a little bit. I've never put money into it. I never would. And it does annoying things. As an example, whenever you win matches, you get these chests. And the chest is where your loot is.
Oh, no.
But it takes time to open the chest.
Like Elder Scrolls Blades.
And that's precisely like Elder Scrolls Blades. You only have so many chest slots. And then, of course, you can pay to open them immediately. So it's those annoying things where the monetization of Clash Royale is so... I don't like it at all. The actual game is super fun. That's the thing. Games like that can be extremely fun. So seeing it done to a very high degree of polish by Blizzard, that could be a slice of Warcraft-themed gameplay on your phone that is actually enjoyable. The question is, will they create artificial friction that you can then pay to remove? There's probably going to be different ways that could go. As an example, they could just have a small amount of that with a premium battle pass that, you know, you get it and that's it. You're all good.
Yeah.
And perhaps that would be okay, because ultimately the game's going to be free. You're going to be able to play a whole bunch of it for free. They do need to make money somehow. But if it ends up being like Clash Royale, where you play it almost too much for, you know, you play it, you earn rewards faster than the game mechanics let you access those rewards, and then you feel like you have to pay to skip. Or if there's an energy bar that you end up feeling like you have to pay to refill. That would just be so far away from Blizzard. From what you think of as being Blizzard. So if they do that, that will be a real... that'll be a real stinker. That would suck.
Yeah, I imagine... That's the thing, right? Well, they know what happened with Diablo Immortal. And it took them years to kind of claw some of that back with the PC announcement stuff. So
Yeah.
I feel like they will very much be like, hey, this is definitely... For some of you Warcraft fans, we're not going to try and destroy your wallet. We're going to be reasonably fair. We're going to probably a whole bunch of content in the game for you to play. So it's that kind of thing where people won't go, oh, this is what it is. Oh, it's a monetized shithole. Get rid of that. I think they'll probably give this a really strong go because they know, like, they have all the analytics from King. What works, what doesn't, what works for long-term engagement. And of course they could look at the numbers for what makes for long-term monetization. They could go, oh, let's squeeze the players. Or they could go, okay, well, what happened to King's more free-to-play experiments? What happened to King's more, we've like oriented the game for long-term engagement that isn't monetized to maybe monetize later? It's like, have they looked at the numbers for that? And obviously, you know, you laugh at them for doing that for World of Warcraft because that's historically resulted in a bunch of, like, I guess, anti-player systems and stuff and a bunch of time getting. But then you look at the mobile realm, you're like, well, I think a lot of that comes down to the game is actually engaging for people because that's such a high competition market. Whereas World of Warcraft hasn't had as much competition that's actually threatened it before. And that's why it's been able to do all this, like, kind of, we have you in the monopoly stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like this, I would be very surprised if they were, like, if this came out like an obvious way to just try to rip people off. I'd be super surprised at that.
Yeah, that would be a shocking miscalculation in the handling of the Warcraft brand. You can't take a brand like Warcraft and give it shitty free-to-play monetization or give it gacha game monetization.
Yeah.
If they just ported, say, Star Wars Galaxies, that's not it. Galaxy at War, you know, it's the Star Wars game that's a bit like Shadow thingies. What's it called? Shadow Legends, Raid Shadow Legends. If they just did Warcraft Shadow Legends, I mean, come on. Everyone knows that would just do damage to the Warcraft brand.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to do something like that. And even if it's called Warcraft Rumble, like if that was even, because I literally don't know what it is. I actually didn't look at the site.
Yeah.
If that ends up being almost like an auto chess or something, you could see that being really fun.
Yeah, I mean,
If it's an auto chess or if it's like a Clash Royale, or even a Clash of Clans that let you have the fun strategic base building and gameplay without loads of bullshit and annoying monetization, those are all things that I would be open to, because ultimately I want to play a good game. If this is a good game designed for a 6.9-inch touchscreen, and it is actually a good game, like it's possible to make a good game on a phone. I've played a few of them.
Same.
Even premium, there's premium ones like Monument Valley, the Gibbon game that's on Apple Arcade. As an example, we have an Apple TV, and I just have the Apple Arcade subscription. And that is just mobile games on your TV. But like that Gibbon game, and there's some really sort of more artsy indies, but it's actual good shit. And you can play it on your phone, and when you play it there, it's still as good shit. So it is entirely possible. Now we're going to find out in 4 minutes, everyone. We can see here, Warcraft Mobile Game Reveal Event up on my screen. So that's it, everyone. We are going to know 3 minutes now. 3 minutes. Should say hello to the, oh my god, 6,700 of you. Welcome. Now, I do have a little bit, just before we go in, we have pretty big news, actually.
Yeah, go for it.
So we, of course, are also a game studio, which, it's funny, a lot of people don't know that. Because a lot of people don't know that, but to ensure everyone did know that, I'd have to just repeat it at the start of every single video, and that would be so annoying. So yes, we are making a narrative adventure sort of survival RPG game called Pale Beyond. That's what we're doing. Now, our publisher runs an event called Ludinaricon. And you know those Steam events, right? Where you go onto Steam, there's a big banner, there's like a live stream and loads of different games, and there's demos and stuff. We are on that. So you're going to be able to play a very early demo of the Pale Beyond between the 5th and 9th of May, which is in just a few days. And we're going to be doing a live stream at 6:30 p.m. BST this coming Thursday, which is basically 48 hours and 30 minutes from right now. I'll be here with Thomas. We'll be doing a live playthrough, showing a few things off, talking about the game, doing Q&A with you guys. So that's it. Until then, of course, if you want to wishlist the Pale Beyond on Steam, you can do that. And I think that might actually give you a notification for the demo when it goes live. Hopefully. So yeah, we've got that. There's a few. It's been really nice. We've got one of the marketing people at NI Screen works with us one day a week on marketing stuff. So we've got nice little tweets and things. Anyway, some nice ambience. Yeah, so that's Pale Beyond, narrative survival role-playing game made by us over the last little while. Certainly, sort of thing, we're trying to hit a lot of people with it. So if you like, if you like the VNs and the point and clicks, you'll definitely like this too. For sure. But very much our goal is, if you like stories and say a game with the vibes of Frostpunk is something that's up your alley, we think you'll also really like this. Ultimately, it is a game made for people who love stories and love immersion in games, and really games where your dialogue matters, where we've put a lot of work into dialogue, trust me. So anyway.
Almost too much, to be honest.
So that's the crack with that. The Pale Beyond, you'll be able to play a little bit of it between the 5th and 9th of May, and certainly you're probably going to encounter a few bugs. And if you let us know what the bugs are, that will help. We have been running QA with like 20 to 30 people for a little while now, but there are always more bugs to find. That's what it's like in software. So can't guarantee it'll be a bug-free experience, but should be nice, immersive, fun, and give you a good little slice of things for the game. So that's the Pale Beyond.
Good pitch.
There we go. Absolutely. There you go, Thomas. I've promoted the game for us. My work is done.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Is it possible to keep all the dogs alive? Find out.
Yep. I will not talk too much about the dogs.
What's our timer like?
We're almost there, everyone. We're almost there.
Indeed.
Okay, so now it says it will begin shortly. That means it is now but a matter of seconds till we find out. Fun bit of trivia, actually. I think there was about 16,000 people with us for our coverage of Dragonflight's reveal. There's 7,000 here now, which, considering it's a mobile game, I think for Blizzard's, their official stream had about 140,000 watching live, at least in YouTube anyway. And of course here it's got 56,000. So considering it's a Warcraft mobile game, which I think a lot of the WoW audience isn't asking for. Oh, there you go. A waiter for a timer for a timer. I think that's pretty decent going for Blizzard, to be honest.
Yeah, I would certainly hope most of this is people who are interested in the game, because I definitely could see this being quite a lot of, I guess, people craning their necks to watch a car crash. From a substantial amount of people, I imagine that's kind of the vibe of, oh, I can't wait to see how badly Blizzard have shit the bed this time. But generally speaking, I can't imagine that being I can't imagine that ultimately being the case. There's bound to be people who are going, because it's the same thing of, there's so many people who kind of quietly enjoy World of Warcraft, aren't engaged in all of the, the community aspects of it, in the sense that they're not, they're not replying to Wohead comments, they're not talking on Twitter about it, they're not posting on Reddit about it, they're just like, I'm home from work, I'm going to play World of Warcraft, I'm not going to engage in it, like, the culture of it.
Yeah.
I imagine there's a lot of those who are like, I like Warcraft, show me a mobile game, I'll play it when I'm on the bus or on the train or in the car when I'm not driving, hopefully. For sure.
15.
Oh boy.
12. We are almost there. Of course, nobody knows what this game is. It definitely is not on major websites right now.
Nope.
But at least this way, we'll get to find out about the game in Blizzard's own words. Let's go. Is that the hero character for Hearthstone?
Looks like her.
So that style makes sense. Clash Royale? Style game?
Something like that.
Really like how they've made the departure, and art style makes sense. Yeah. This is a really good way to introduce me. There you go, it's another game in the tavern. Arclight Rumble, okay. Tell you what, style, nice. Narrative framing, nice.
And I'm Adam, and today we have the honor of introducing you to
Warcraft Arclight Rumble!
So what is this game? What is this game?
Whoa.
This is a mobile strategy, fast-paced hero collector
And villain collector.
game that has a vast PvE campaign. It also has dungeons and raids and PvP and co-op and everything you'd expect of a Warcraft game from Blizzard. We love games.
thought this would
We
be
were super
standard
inspired by
PvP
tower
Clash
defense
Royale.
games. Our game isn't really tower defense. It's more our style to do a tower offense game.
It's joyful chaos. And we're aiming to bring our Blizzard best to mobile games that inspire us. Chaos reigns.
All the chaos.
Can't use chaos twice. In basements of taverns all across Azeroth, a mysterious machine has been found. Is it new? Has it always been there? Powered by gnomish engineering and Arclight. This machine has been generating famous and infamous battlegrounds for your entertainment.
So when the battle begins, you'll come to the battlefield with your army, ready to go assault the boss. There's a base for you to defend. If the base dies, your run is over. Also, there's meeting stones on the map. If we control the meeting stone, we can play things closer to the boss. If the enemy controls the meeting stone, they're going to come at us a little bit closer as well. There's also towers on the map for you to go capture that lets you have a forward position so you can assault the boss directly.
There's also shinies that you can get. There's gold nodes and treasure chests to plunder. You gotta get the shiny.
Give me the shiny!
The more gold that you can get, the more chaos you can rain upon the field.
One of my favorite things about this game is that every mini has their own personality, and every single one of them thinks they're the coolest.
XP bar.
And they're
So
all wrong,
collect dupes
except for
to
Blackrock
level them up, I assume.
Pyromancer.
Yep. Almost certainly.
Well, that'd be in
In
card packs.
Warcraft Arclight Rumble,
Yes,
we have
definitely.
5 families. The Alliance!
The Noble Alliance with a lot of defensive units and spells. There's also the Horde, the Proud Horde that will overpower your enemies.
But there's also Blackrock to sear a hole in your enemy's defense.
Decent amount of level
Let's
design.
throw
Just a
down!
bit of it. So
There's, of course, the Undead.
Who can bring a skeleton of troops to the battlefield. And beasts. We also have a literal stampede from the plains and jungles of Azeroth.
With all of the chaos going on with the troops, we need somebody to lead this rabble. Leaders are a way to cater your strategy and build a specific playstyle that suits you. If you want to play siege
big
units, go for Sneed.
oh yeah.
Sneed
Golden
has a
max
trait
level
called
Jenna.
Sneed's Greed that makes all of your siege units grab extra gold.
My personal favorite is Ren, with his ability Black in the Sky. It makes all of your flying units 1 gold cheaper, so you can fill the air with chaos.
Chaos.
There are tons of strategies that you can assemble with this. There are over 60
Stranger
minis for you
Paradise.
to play with. But you don't need to have an understanding of Warcraft to be able to embrace the chaos. A sense of exploration and wonder should come across regardless.
Speaking of wonder,
How
let's
do
go
you fit
play a
exploration and
game.
wonder
We're going to do it
into this?
live. I mean, it'll be edited later.
I like,
but
how do
that's
they string
okay.
the campaign together?
Welcome to Jinroke's
Can they tell little
Swole
stories like
Isle.
Hearthstone does? Back to the effect.
This is a fun map because I did the design for it and Justine did the art. We'd have our animators and our character artists to make all this happen. There's so many people that go into making this a reality.
The goal of the Swole Troll Patrol is to punch your base in the face.
Smash that start button. Let's go. Okay. Here comes a troll. He's coming down our lane, and the first thing we're going to do is have some harpies go say hello. There's a kobold that's already trying to steal gold over there. We're going to let him go for that, though. There's a bat rider coming, and we have a huntress. Let's play a huntress to help this out a little bit. And here comes another swole troll. Let's send out some chickens to meet that swole troll. But those trolls are definitely relentless. I'm actually going to lose.
No!
We don't make these maps to be easy.
I thought you said you couldn't lose. You designed this map.
Smash that start button. Let's go. All right, here comes this swole troll, and we need some harpies to go take care of that swole troll. There's some chickens coming. I don't care about those chickens, but that kobold, I do. That kobold definitely needs to get out of here.
Larger maps than for this genre.
For sure, yeah.
Need some more gold, though. Let's go.
They're trying hard.
This area
Yeah.
right here,
Yeah.
so that we can fuel our harpy addiction. All right,
Tell
good.
them
Have
how
those
it
chickens
works.
come in and peck that swole troll, just like it's a snack. Oh my gosh, look at all of these units coming in here. But one chain lightning is all we need. Hopefully that kobold sneaks by. Aw, there you go.
Woo!
Oh, we're in overtime. All right,
Down to the wire.
harpies, come on. Time's running out.
Too close.
All right, all right, all right. Let's do a wombo combo.
Brilliant.
For the Warcraft audience, that'll do way better.
Yeah, for sure. We got that kind of Angry Birds stuff
That's
going
just
on and
one
play
of
this
the
forever.
70 plus maps that we have for you to play all
70
over
plus?
Azeroth.
That's a lot.
One of my favorite maps is going back to Stranglethorn, deep in the jungle, is Gurabashi Arena. King Mukla is there with his Banunchucks and Banandalier.
There's a couple of apes in Ungro that have some banana armaments. We've got the Benini gun by Ukluk. Ungro also has Devil Sword Queen, the tyrant of the area, and she comes stomping down, and you just have to take her down before she bites your base.
Tasty base. There's always going to be unique challenges depending on each map. When it comes to maps that require you to be able to take charge of the high ground or combat massive cannon bombardment from a ship, there's so many ways that you can customize your minis using talents. Their abilities can be augmented in all different sorts of directions.
Maiev has a really awesome talent called Cloak of Shadows. Wherever you play her on the map, she will cast Smoke Bomb and stealth everything around her, so you can make a mobile assault squad anywhere on the map.
This does look like there's way more to it than you'd expect from face value.
Warcraft!
Warcraft!
This is very much the
Rumble!
intro for people who don't play games very much kind of way.
This game has
As
so many
opposed to
ways
here's
to
where the
play
depth
varied
is.
content every single day, every single week. You get to play a new dungeon every week.
We didn't talk about dungeons!
We didn't talk about dungeons. You can play dungeons solo, or if you want to play co-op, you can as well.
We didn't talk about
We
co-op!
forgot to talk about co-op. Co-op, you can join a guild, you can play with your friends.
You can join a guild and you can fight your friends.
Fight. You can go play raids with them.
PvP?
There's so many things to do in this game.
We didn't talk about raids.
You're just gonna have to stay tuned for more information, aren't you?
Closed beta
Oh,
is coming to
darn
limited
it.
regions soon, so keep an eye on social media for more information. On behalf of the team, we are so
Just don't
excited
jump in
for
them.
you guys to get your hands on this, and we really, really
And
look
Corey
forward to
Stockton,
your
yeah.
feedback and input.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Enjoy the joy.
Enjoy the chaos. The chaos, it never ends! Chaos, 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 chaos.
Oh,
There we go. Pre-reg now.
Yep.
All right.
No release date though, so
Oh. It's your wallet. I kind of want a minifig line.
interesting.
For Theramore!
Feels more Warcraft than Shadowlands.
Very sanitized Warcraft, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Very mass audience friendly Warcraft, but
Oh, okay. So it's like a nice overworld UI.
I think if we use all the voice lines for more.
Yeah.
Great.
This seems like so much more game than Clash Royale.
Yeah.
Like actual game that level designers have got to design and people have to build. But how are you monetized the game? That's what I want to know. Yeah. That might be us. I guess we can go to the
imagine
website and
so.
check out more.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, let's see. This is going to be exactly what I expect. Yes, it is.
Yeah, just almost an even ratio of hearts to pukes.
Yeah,
If you
that's
are a
actually
PC
pretty good.
Game,
No,
Yeah,
very good.
I do not have a negative reaction to that.
I can see.
See how people would, but
Yeah, so I think the game looks like it will at least be fun. The only problem is, well, this is very much from my perspective, not like an overall perspective, but very much it looks like it'll be a long ass time to get to anything that might be considerably fun for someone who likes strategy games. It looks like everything about the positioning was very much, hey, this is, I think someone in chat earlier said, let your kids play Warcraft kind of vibes. And I think that might be one of the things they kind of target, because obviously like the Hearthstone aesthetic with all of the like tavern songs and stuff is definitely very soft.
yes.
And that was extremely soft. That was very much, yeah, this is for kids and like, new people who are kind of in this, in the very mobile world aesthetic, in the very, who will be playing Clash of Clans and see that and go, oh, Warcraft, I know that brand.
yes.
I don't know anything about it, but I'll try it out. That's their target very much more than us, I guess, in a way, which I think is okay, but like for the positioning, it's just a matter of, will that turn people off despite the fact that internally they've almost certainly tried to make the game fun?
Yeah, that's the thing, because I look at all of this and knowing that the likes of Clash Royale are actually fun games,
Yeah.
and thinking that Blizzard have more potential to make a fun game than Supercell, I do see a world where this is a fun game that fits in Warcraft.
I mean, it looks like it. already.
Yeah. I'm on the press center here. On the press center, where we can perhaps see a few more things. So looking at this PNG, once it loads, hello?
Press site is usually hammered like crazy in times like this.
Yeah. Well, okay. How do we do this? Okay.
I mean, all that stuff's on the website as well.
Oh, okay, I'll just go to the Arclight Rumble
might-
website.
that
So here it is, right. Mobile action strategy, free to play, pre-reg with battle.net. There's the gameplay trailer that, of course, we just watched. Looking at that UI, that, of course, will remind people of Clash Royale. Now, at least last time I checked, Clash Royale didn't have PvE. And when I look at this, there seems to be map design, level design, and people enjoy still games like Bloons TD,
Yeah,
like
Bloons is
what's it called? Thingy. One of them's called Kingdom Rush. Yeah, Kingdom Rush Frontiers. All of those tower defenses. I suppose one of the most popular mobile games right now is a tower defense game. The gacha one.
Tower defense, gotcha.
Are
You thinking of Arknights?
Arknights. That's not
yeah.
tower defense. What is it again?
It's kind of like a tower defense.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So now look at the art style. It seems like it could be punchy. It's got the clear, simple readability you need for mobile. So okay, collect over 65 Warcraft minis and build multiple armies. So they are overtly framing this as a game that exists within the Hearthstone universe.
Yeah,
That's the first thing to understand.
In terms of the tavern stuff, yes.
Yeah. So I think that is quite clearly informing aspects of the UI. Should make sense. Hearthstone's UI is really nice. It's just a pity it's got so cluttered, full of, money shit as of late.
It certainly does make you think about, what this looks like now versus what it's going to look like in a couple of years, maybe. If it succeeds, but that's a bit of a long-term pessimistic view, to be honest.
So I guess here, as you're going through, then you have to capture these resource nodes.
Yeah.
So I suppose that can actually give you that feeling of progressing kind of upward through a map. Could make things feel a little bit more sort of dynamic and interesting.
And also, it is a very obvious callback to what RTSs are about.
Totally, yeah.
In the sense of, you expand. Obviously, you don't expand your base, but go get your resources, then do stuff. It's very interesting that they have made it real time, because it's like, okay, well, that seems like it could be fun, but I guess it's how fast will it be? I guess is one question. But
what I think about, and this is why I'm really happy that there's some PvE here. I know this is a PvP thing I'm going to talk about, but the StarCraft Tug of War arcade, the StarCraft custom games, the Warcraft 3 custom games, that would essentially be Tug of War, and you would have to build up your base a little bit. You do stuff to get resources. You only get so many resources per unit time. Therefore, you've got to maybe save up enough minerals so you can then do a wave of 2 or 3 of these, 2 or 3 of those, 1 of those, deploy them all correctly, have them go up. Like, that's fundamentally fun gameplay, as is shown in StarCraft 2. Like, you can just get the StarCraft 2 free-to-play, hop into the arcade, and play some of those just play some of those custom games that people have built in the map editor. They're really fun. Yeah. So I have no doubt that this could be really fun. For me, it's just, is it monetized reasonably? What is the overall game experience like? Is it going to feel super grindy? Like, those are the things that I'm a little bit, well, okay, let's see. What is their plan for progression? Oh, this is where it could all go south.
Yeah, I assume you've got the progression curve speed of, you're going really, 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 really fast, and now you're having fun. Oh, there, and then money. Just that continual curve of, you feel like you're 98% of the way there. Just cough up the last 2%, you're good.
So, collect the Warcraft minis, mix and match from your strategy, level up your army. So after each battle, you gain XP and level up your minis. Level up to unlock the ability to use talents. Right. Now that is different to a lot of other games. Because what will happen in a game like Clash Royale is you finish a match, you get a chest, you'll get cards inside that chest. And whenever you get dupes of a card, the dupes level up the card. Right? Now that's very different to you play a match with some dudes, your dudes are stronger at the end of the match.
Yeah, well, remember that if you've been playing a bunch of other gacha games and stuff like that, a lot of this will be like, your level's fine, but then, like Genshin's constellations and stuff is, you need to roll the character twice to unlock a major upgrade. Yeah. And that's what they could do with, like, the quality system. Where it's like, you've got a max level Jaina, but your max level Jaina is green. You need to go buy another Jaina, which you probably can't just buy outright, and then that'll be blue. And then, the whole Archer way of... Okay, well then now you need 2 blue Jainas to make a purple one. Then you need 2 purple ones to make an orange, and then you've got that case of, I'm now putting $1,000 into random packs to try and get the last Jaina I need to fill it all up. Are you
basically purchasing blind bags? Some of those mini collectible things. Is this basically buying a blind bag of little minifigs? And that's how they're... Because even Lego, I think, they sell blind bags. Of course, the big difference is you actually get a Lego minifig at the end, unlike in this. Assuming they monetize it that way, That's really the question for me, though. Certainly, it being PvE helps with some of the monetization concerns. Sometimes in PvP, it's that weird thing of like, oh shit, I need to put more money in to be competitive. Hearthstone has that problem. You want the competitive deck in the new season, you better have cards. Probably not going to get them all with gold, are you? So it's kind of weird. It might feel more monetized, but less like you really need to buy the things if it's just the PvE you're interested in. Unless then, of course, they have things similar to Candy Crush or some of those games where, like I know in the match 3s, they make a whole bunch of money. There's a level of randomness in some of the levels, and you really need things to go right and for you to also make all the right decisions.
Yeah.
Or you get around the variance by being able to purchase power-ups.
Yeah.
So strange. I'll see if there's anything we can tease out of this. So troops and leaders. I wonder how they'll be monetized. That's an example of a Griffin Rider getting more XP. Now, there's some aspects of the game design that I like here versus some other entries in the market. It seems like you could spawn some archers in the bridge, and then they could perhaps shoot down in the lane.
Yeah, I mean, fairly, I guess, naturalist design for the kind of maps that are going. So it's not just like a straight line TD that people always kind of get a little bit annoyed, like, oh, this is so simple and stupid. It's like, they're definitely trying to make this an actual game that looks like it could be playable. It is, I don't want to say concerning. It's frustrating that they didn't show what a raid was outside of just having what looked to be an Ixia there, because it's like that would be the kind of that would be like a real differentiator. If they're like, hey, we actually literally do have like, I guess what I call high-end PvE there, but it is going to be difficult for them to get across from the fact that this is very, very different to what. It's weird because, like, I think for a huge amount of the audience, this is going to work okay.
Yeah.
But for so many others, it's going to be like, we wanted World of Warcraft Mobile, or we wanted a Diablo Immortal Mobile, and that's what it most profoundly isn't. It's just going to be, oh, is this a direction Blizzard's going? Kitty shit in my Warcraft? Fuck that, I'm out. That's kind of one of the problems they always have of like, to avoid that, they would have needed to have paired this with something that Warcraft fans would have liked. Yeah. And they did that with Dragonflight, but that was a while ago. And people's like kind of memory for emotional reactions is pretty low.
Well, the big example of that working is Elder Scrolls Blades being announced at the same time that they show you a logo and a little render for, of course, the next Elder Scrolls game. Yeah. Which wasn't even the main game they were developing at the time, because Bethesda was primarily working in Starfield. Mm-hmm. But I think Blizzard knows that, or maybe knew, that the public perception of Warcraft, the MMO, was a bit rough. And I think they therefore understood, okay, we can do Dragonflight, but if we do Dragonflight and the mobile game, maybe the mobile game will drag Dragonflight down more than Dragonflight would drag the mobile game up.
Maybe, yeah.
Looking at a few of these screenshots, we can see here's some gold coins.
Yeah.
Now those gold coins, I imagine you'll get those at the end of the match.
I mean, look, there's a wee plus icon beside it.
I imagine you'll be able to purchase maybe a grab bag of minis or of leaders or something with that gold. But as you correctly, of course, identify, you'll be able to purchase some gold. I don't know if that will be the case.
Almost certainly. I mean, it's a thing where they're not going to do anything like super unique and super at their monetization. They're going to do what works. They're going to leave all of like the experimentation to the game designers.
As you said, they have all of King's data.
Yeah. And they're not going to look at King's data and go, "Oh, sorry, we're the great Blizzard. We know better than you about monetizing mobile games." Because then one of the executives from Activision Blizzard would say, "Would you sit down and shut the fuck up? King are literally making 5 times the money you are, and they don't have the laurels of Warcraft to rest on. Fucking do what they say." And that'll be like, okay, well, we will do what they say, but we're Blizzard, we have to make this great. So I imagine there were stuff at this point where, if you're thinking of this as a good versus evil, creative versus monetization push, I imagine it was very much the monetization side going, make this PvP, then you don't need to hire level designers and designers. You can just make something, balance it every now and again, throw load updates, then we can monetize the shit out of it. And then the Blizzard side, the creative side, we're going, no, this is a Warcraft game. That needs PvE and PvP. That needs dungeons. That needs raids. That needs co-ops. That needs guilds. And that's where the kind of push is, where it's like, this is probably going to be monetized.
Yeah.
Very, not like aggressively, but like in your face aggressively. Aggressively, like tactics and strategy-wise aggressively.
Yeah.
But it'll also be a game that I think Blizzard are proud of to release.
Yeah, this is way more game than they could have made. They have, 70 levels, then they have the dungeon mode, then they have the raid mode, and the PvP mode. And there's co-op. Compared to other games in this genre, that's a fuckload more game, and seemingly a fuckload more of designed game. Not like some of those mobile games where it literally just feels like infinite levels that an algorithm has spat out. Now, as I look here, there's a world map, so here's the Eastern Kingdoms. You can see the Eastern Kingdoms, of course, looking a little bit, and I have screwed it up.
It scrolled in too far and that's gone.
Eastern Kingdoms, of course, looking a little bit different. More of a smooshed in version of the Eastern Kingdoms. So there's that. There's also, though, and I suppose that's just going to be giving us, we have our sort of undead Lordaeron, we have Blackrock, right? Like, this is all just the kind of big archetypes you think about when you have WoW. Ashenvale, Winter Spring. Interesting. Yeah, so it's just like a little
Definitely not to scale.
reduction. Yeah, not to scale. It does make me think how they're going to add content here. So there's one thing I will say. This is how I think they could get a win here with the Warcraft audience. If you felt disenfranchised with World of Warcraft, I think we would both recommend that you open up Hearthstone, go to Book of Mercenaries, and play through the Book of Mercenaries stuff. Because those are just telling little stories in the Warcraft universe that honestly feel so much more Warcraft than really Shadowlands and BFA did in so many cases. They're like really good slices of Warcraft content. So if I'm thinking about Blizzard here, what's the thing to do? Well, could you do a little retelling of a part of the First War or the Second War or some event in Warcraft's history through a little campaign in this? And you could do it in a way where it's a little fun game version of it, or you could do it in a way that you're playing it in the Hearthstone Tavern and there's some grizzled veteran beside you recounting a war story. There is a way that with a shred of creativity, they could put the narrative into this, that at least for the Warcraft fans, the way that the Book of Mercenaries makes Hearthstone feel a hell of a lot better. Yeah. They could do that. I'm not saying they will.
Yeah,
They probably won't.
Yeah,
they could.
Look at the timeline for the clans and stuff there. It's Alliance, it's Blackrock. You know, Blackrock Orcs there. There's beasts. It's all very much EK and Kalimdor. Before
That's our factions.
Yeah, it's not going to be particularly heavy on like Nurlure. It's going to be very much, hey, this is what I called. And you might want to look at it. I put it in the bottom of the Notion doc, but GameSpot have a preview on it, which apparently includes hands-on gameplay. Someone pointed out in chat, but you may not believe what they're saying. I certainly wouldn't. But their headline is Warcraft Arclight Rumble is classic Warcraft made bite-size. Blizzard returns to its roots in Warcraft's mobile debut.
Well,
which is going to make people laugh, but
yeah. Well, let's take a look. So, intends to remind us of where Warcraft started to resurrect Warcraft's past, all while mixing familiar gameplay with characters and lands built by the MMO's lore to create an all-new experience. The premise sees coin-operated machines appearing in taverns throughout Azeroth, whose patrons use minifigures of creatures and heroes to battle against each other in a simplified RTS. So similar approach to how Hearthstone's using its tavern set.
Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't realize. I was sitting thinking, why is it called Warcraft Arclight Rumble? That's a terrible... Arclight's terrible. That means nothing to anyone. It's abbreviated war.
Welcome to Warcraft War.
Well, it's welcome to war. That's a bit intense.
That is tonally, hey everyone, welcome to war, and it's this fucking this cute war.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so let's see. The gameplay loop is easy to get a grip on. Summon units into lanes, watch them slowly progress up. Overarching goal, defeating the foe. So there's arrows on the map that you can use to basically have units change, but they are fully autonomous when summoned, which I think is definitely the correct move to make for a game like this. Make it more like an auto chess-ish tug of war format. Units can be summoned at your base, but then there's smaller towns and summoning stones on some maps. Yep, and I guess a little bit of rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, so there's, I mean, what I would expect, some unique situations, 2 units that can attack anywhere at the board at any time. Chain Lightning, a spell unit that fires a quick bolt of lightning that will damage a multiple enemies group together, and a safe pilot, a dwarven pilot, who enters an area dive bombing. If a boss is low on health, either of those could end the battle by themselves as soon as they're summoned, so that's a little bit like in, say, a Clash Royale. You also can have spell cards that you can use. I would imagine, though, just Blizzard putting a little bit more, UX and nice chunky animations and such. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Missions are carried out in a giant world map, with each section holding 5 battles. Winning all 5 battles opens up the next region until eventually the entire map has been defeated. Each victory earns you a skull, which acts as a running tally of how many missions you've beaten in your playthrough. As it rises, more ways to play are unlocked, including one-off quests where you select a unit to power up, fight a battle, and if you win, it gets an extra boost. Skulls unlock PvP missions where you battle against friends, and full-on raids where multiple players can gather together against the biggest and baddest enemies in the game.
Yep, that's exactly what I expected. All of this can be done without paying a single cent of real-world money. The option to spend money on new units is available, but War doesn't seem to care if you do or not. That's an interesting one.
War might not care, but the monetization people will.
Absolutely. Yep.
Let's take a look here. The army I was able to amass through normal gameplay and in-game currency got me through the majority of the missions I played in one try, even if some of those were nail-biters that weren't decided until the final seconds. And that is actually a thing. These can be challenging little games.
And obviously,
you look at Clash Royale, that can be fucking challenging.
Well, that's where we have to look if we're going to continue on the monetization cynicism angle. We have to look at Candy Crush, where how much of that is designed to be just hard enough for you to go, maybe if you buy an extra power-up, you'll beat it next time. And that's the kind of cycle they trap you into. So that's the thing of, if you're not particularly good at this, or maybe you don't enjoy the challenge, because I think that's where a lot of the monetization of this stuff will come from. It'll come from casual audiences who don't really enjoy the challenge very much, and their frustration will make them open their wallet. And it's kind of hard to get around that when you're designing this with monetization in mind at all, because you either make it too easy and then good players won't find it fun, or you make it too hard and then everyone goes, you're just trying to squeeze money out of this, you bastards.
Yeah.
So I think that's a...
So it's, I guess it's kind of interesting there. You seem to level units up through gameplay.
Yeah.
And then you can acquire units via in-game currency and IRL currency.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, are they going to try to add new sets of units over time and monetize that way? Or is it going to be based on how you rank up the heroes?
So I imagine it'll be a combination of both. I imagine minis won't just be minis and then you level them up and you're done. But also there's 65, they said. I think over 65 at the start, which isn't an awful lot of minis. So I'm assuming that, and also they're minis. You're going to print more of those. You're going to sell the physical versions. That's the idea, is you can just make more of them.
Yeah.
And you can probably expand it in terms of expand extra units, expand extra leaders, because leaders have small gameplay stuff. So you can have a little bit of a design challenge, a little bit of fun. Almost exactly how you make more cards in a card game, where it's just going to be continually adding more. And then that'll be where the monetization, repeat monetization comes in. Where it's oh yeah, you may have a legendary Jaina that's full max level, but wouldn't you like a legendary Grom as well? Or I guess he's already in the game, so...
Yeah, I think...
legendary Thrall or something like that.
You'll feel in your first playthrough, you'll probably feel totally fine.
Yeah.
But then it's if you want to really start doing the raids and stuff like that,
it'll start to squeeze,
then you'll maybe want that variety. But this person says, in-game variety came at a steady rate. My units powered up enough. The battles never felt out of reach, even if I failed. And nothing was ever locked away behind a timer, as is common in mobile games. That's good, and that would certainly solve one of the annoying things about Clash Royale, where it just hides the loot behind a fucking timer. And which basically works as a way where you can play Clash Royale for 10 minutes a day, and fine, probably grand for a mostly free experience. But if you actually just want to sit there and enjoy it for the actually fun game that it is, then it's going to start saying, hey, you better cough up. So them not doing that, that's definitely good. That definitely feels... Well, it seems like this is going to be less anti-player than most of the things in this genre, which you kind of would expect given that it's a premium IP that was never rooted in the mobile market, and they're probably really aware of how badly this could backfire.
And also a substantial amount of those games are getting very on in years.
Yeah.
And those games aren't likely the ones to go for a fundamental design shift. This is the kind of stuff where, like, it's kind of like the Genshin thing, where you get loot if you spend your dust, but if you don't, you're fine. Or dust, I can't remember. It's that long since I played, I can't remember the name of it, but the daily resource. It's that thing of you can play all you want, but and I imagine it'll be the same with like XP. I imagine XP will be like slightly gated based on, or like maybe first 5 games of the day, you get an XP bonus or something like that for the grind part of it. Where I think people have generally learned, if you let players play more, they will enjoy your game. Just don't force them to grind.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that obviously, as we all know, being World of Warcraft players, completely get you completely out of the game. So that's interesting.
Yeah, so I think like that's...
Oh, it's also worth saying that this is literally a preview build that they got to play.
True.
So there's all the chance that it's like, hey, GameSpot, here's a version that doesn't feel like shit. Oh, hey, users, here's the version that we get to pay for. Here you go. You're going to like lose like hell unless you spend money after like 3 hours of play. So that is one thing to keep in mind, because it feels nasty, but that's just the shit they can do. And the shit they will do.
Yeah, so basically when I look at this, I know that this is a fun subgenre of game because I've played it before. I would then though, I would stop playing because I get annoyed by the monetization. Yeah. If you want to know my profile as a gamer who does own a mobile phone that can play games, it's pretty simple. Mm-hmm. There are some one-off Apple Arcade games that don't have bullshit monetization, even a little puzzle game like Mini Motorways that I do really enjoy from time to time. I don't play any mobile games that are full of the bullshit. When I look at this, I know I've enjoyed Clash Royale because it's a fun little strategy game. You know, you versus another player who's going to make the right calls. It fundamentally works in the same way that I know I enjoy playing a good old tug-of-war custom game in the StarCraft 2 arcade mode, or even in Warcraft 3. Used to play Warcraft 3 custom tower defense games with people way back many years ago, and that's still great. That's still really fun. So I do think this will be a really fun game. When I look at it, it seems to have a level of Blizzard polish, while it is obviously more Hearthstone-ish in that it's not self-serious or anything like that. I do think it's a well-executed art style. Might not be everyone's cup of tea, but for what it is really well done. It looks fun. I think I will play it. This is, I think, a game I could absolutely see myself playing and enjoying because I already know that this sort of game is fun. The question is going to be, will they just grab my balls, squeeze them and say, pay up, bitch? Will they do that? That'll ruin it. This is
literally the same company that makes Candy Crush. It is literally the same company that Candy Crush. Expecting anything except Candy Crush tier monetization and Candy Crush like kind of quality of it.
Would have preferred WoW Impact. I didn't catch your name in chat because it was moving so fast. I mean, me too, my man.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the thing. A lot of like modern gacha stuff. Obviously, you look from an industry perspective. You look at it from the worst affected and like the kind of people who are likely to be caught up and like have very negative life impact of playing these games. Didn't mean to use the word impact there. Good joke. But it's like those games are actually, generally speaking, fairly user-friendly. They ask a lot of time sometimes, but generally speaking, most of them are designed that they are for wheels and for a little bit of monetization, but it's not like abusive from the wheels.
Yeah.
It's like if you watch Mythic Quest and Brad has that whole thing about, he doesn't like taking money from Saudi princes because it's easy. What he wants is the challenge of like squeezing the last penny out of people. I think so much of like gacha games have figured out that going for we'll take a load of money from people who have a load of money to spare.
Yeah.
By, whatever effect, but we'll make the game good and fun to play so there's a thriving community around it.
I think that's the modern like, thing, hello, we're going to capture you and then use a weird progressive taxation that you opt into by how much you're willing to fund us.
Exactly.
Now, buy those... I was going to say a bunch of inappropriate things. It was about Genshin. You probably can assume what I maybe would have said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, acquire characters with traits you enjoy,
Absolutely.
especially for their gameplay.
To be fair, for Genshin specifically,
True.
it is really annoying the amount of times I'm like, I would like to play that, but I want to play this character and I miss their banner shit.
Yeah.
Because stuff like Raiden Shogun, you're like, absolutely a katana rival. Please, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
even near the start, you just see a character like, fucking hell, Jaina. Jaina. And people might have a few words after that they could say.
Calling Jane is unfair, but yes.
I guess I just saw, Blue End is a Meiji character.
She's not.
No. Okay, well, I've not played Genshin in like a year, so.
Yeah.
But tell you what, like, I suppose that's it. This is firmly not anything like a Genshin.
No.
And I think that is something you can tell because this is made by Blizzard's incubation unit. So this could be a game, maybe, 40 people, 50 people. Whereas Genshin Impact is a team of multiple hundreds. Over 1,000, potentially.
Well, to be fair, MiHoYo are working on a couple of games, but they have thousands of employees now.
So like Genshin Impact could be worked on by a team of a size that is vaguely comparable to an Assassin's Creed title.
Yeah, for sure.
And that just shows how much we kind of joked about it as a progressive tax where, it's 20% for most people, but maybe it's 45% for the super rich people or something. It's literally not like that. But Genshin is an example of like, you can have a game that probably, I don't want to say in terms of development cost because regional differences, but has a headcount similar to an Ubisoft title, yet it's a game that they can fund purely because someone who earns like 90, this is using UK numbers, like say 90 grand a year, probably won't mind putting 400 into wishes or whatever.
Sure.
Wishes are just like the gacha pulls in that game.
Yep. I mean, if you want to come away with this with a little bit of hope, say this game isn't for you. Say you even want to play this game, but you're not going to be monetized heavily. There is someone out there will give Blizzard a substantial amount of money for this, and hopefully they'll be able to use it to spend developing the other mobile game that we believe they have in the works based on job listings, which was basically asking for a full like combat and class designer, talking about like WoD class design, HOTS class design, asking for like a dungeon environment artist. So maybe they'll take all that money and spend it on something that you actually would rather have. Maybe they'll pump it back into World of Warcraft to get that a little bit back up again. Because the example I'll always go for. No, Kaji, that wasn't cancelled. The Pokemon Go game was cancelled.
Yeah.
The other game was like I think it was like a month or two ago they were hiring for it. So it may have been recently spun out now that this is going to go out. But the comparison I'd make is Arknights. Because Arknights is a fairly low budget game, generally speaking, right? It is a quality game. People do enjoy it. The gameplay's fine. The story's really, really like well done. Characters very well designed, etc., etc.
Camera's been bumped.
Oh, sweet, beautiful.
There you go.
Now I'm in the right place. Fantastic.
Some Mr. Robot framing there.
But then they have the is it called the Enfield project? But they are making it's Enfield project, and they're taking all that money that they're getting from their gacha game, and they're just going, okay, we're going to make in this universe a massive like I don't know what kind of gameplay they've said it will be, but it'll likely be like an action RPG.
Yeah.
MiHoYo are making so they have Honkai Impact, which is like a character action Bayonetta style game on mobile. They're making a full Genshin Impact style version for their Honkai universe.
Sweet.
And then there's like Side Games who turned all their Grand Blue Fantasy money into, it's not out yet, but oh my god, Grand Blue Relink it's called.
Yeah, it looks
expensive.
It
looks like an incredible like AAA at its max like amount of money put in, like open world ARPG.
Yeah.
And that's like, Blizzard seem to be doing it in reverse now. Like, World of Warcraft money, funnel it into a mobile game. But maybe that'll funnel back out into something they actually would rather make.
If I was to compare this to Diablo Immortal, to be honest, I wouldn't play Diablo Immortal because I don't want to basically have arthritis over my entire body and be like, yeah. Right? Because if you're just sitting there playing Diablo Immortal for the way that I would play a Diablo game, I just don't want to do that on a phone. So if the PC version is good and it's got a cool campaign with some cool cinematics and a few cool boss fights, then I'll play that on PC. And I don't think Diablo Immortal is a game that I would really play in mobile because for a game like Diablo Immortal, I don't want to do that in mobile.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm far more likely to play this than Diablo Immortal.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
thinking about the phone format and if we were to then think about monthly active users.
Oh yeah,
so
just another couple.
Diablo Immortal is got 30 million pre-regs.
At least.
Yeah. at least, and that was like before the PC stuff happened. So, and then of course, I think it was like 500,000 characters did something in the new season of Diablo 2 Resurrected. That just shows like people are fucking playing D2R. It's not just a flash in the pan at the start. A lot of motherfuckers came back to play that game in its season, right? Mm-hmm. So that just tells me like the Diablo brand is really strong. Blizzard's MAUs could zoom up with Immortal. Let's just say half the people who pre-reg play it. By the way, I think Blizzard's MAUs could go up by 30 million. I would not be surprised given what COD Mobile did to what COD Mobile did for Activision, and how, like, let's be real, Diablo Immortal is a way better fit for mobile than a Call of Duty game on a mobile phone. Definitely. Even though, to be fair to them, COD Mobile is shockingly playable. Mm-hmm. One of our guys was like, he's really highly ranked in it too. I have fun in COD Mobile. Now I did just put it on my iPad and then hook it up to the TV and then put my controller onto my iPad. So then I was just sitting there trying to quickscope people in Crossfire like it's COD 4 again on a big like 65-inch TV, and somehow playing a mobile game in a 65-incher actually felt fucking great. I was very surprised by this. But I'd find this to be a very playable game because just a quick little strategy brain teaser game, a bit of tug of war type of format I've enjoyed in custom games in StarCraft 2 before, assuming it's done with that really big level of Blizzard polish. I wouldn't be surprised if you got another 20 or 30 million MAUs for a game like this, at least at its launch, if it's launched as a big explosion. At which point, look, you've got Warzone and COD Mobile. As soon as those come online, Activision is up to 150 million monthly active users. So is it insane to say that Diablo Immortal and this come out and Blizzard ends up at 90 million MAUs? Not an absurd thing to say.
Probably. I mean,
and that's a game changer.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if this will be 30 off the bat, because obviously 30 was definitely, you're thinking about the Chinese audience for Diablo Immortal. Yeah. That's going to be way bigger than like any Eastern audience for this. This is very much I'm actually not entirely sure how the Clash games and Supercell stuff does over in the East.
No
but
idea.
Compared to the kind of games they seem to play largely, I feel like this is a lot more Western focused.
Yeah.
Which is likely going to mean a lot more competition in the same art style and the same kind of IP base. It's not like the Warcraft movie did very well in NA, to be honest. So maybe the band's not super massive. But
NA is what killed Warcraft.
Yeah.
The beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Because it did pretty okay in EU and it did terrifically in China. Mm-hmm. So there you go. You Yanks just went and saw your fucking movie. We could have had Warcraft the middle and Warcraft the end. But no.
Oh, God.
Nah, so yeah, I get what you mean though with how it all sort of hits different audiences. So like looking at this, like the UI and stuff. I don't know.
I mean, it's all going to be focus tested.
It all looks nice. Yeah, that's it.
I think that's the problem I have with mobile games. It's all focus tested to be good. Or like, where's the soul? Where's the bad mobile game that's fun? I don't want the good mobile game that's okay. I want the bad mobile game that's fun.
Yeah.
I want the 3 nerds in the corner have made this in like 2 weeks kind of vibe. But I think I'm not actually that old, but I think I'm just boomer tier as far as games are concerned right now.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of scrolling through Twitter to see if I pick anything up. Not really. Yeah, so like overall, I think for what this game is going to be, it's probably going to be a very good entry. Yeah. I think this will be an excellent entry in this slice of mobile games. I think most people who are willing to play a game on their phone will enjoy this. I think it will probably monetize you less aggressively than a Clash Royale. I think because it's offering a PvE mode, it's just, for a lot of people, just going to be in the same way someone might whip out a tower defense game in their phone to just kill a bit of time waiting for something, because none of us have got executive function anymore and we need to have our brains being massaged by some sort of product.
That's why I play Citus too.
There we go. Well, I mean, that doesn't massage your brain. That's like fucking Donnie Yen fighting the boxer in Ip Man 2, right? Where he's doing the fucking Wing Chun fast fists over your man's muscles to make him not use his muscles anymore. That's what Citus is doing to your fucking big tier. Citus is a rhythm game in mobile. It's actually really good. But I see people play Citus on an iPad Mini.
iPad Mini,
and the hardest difficulty, and it's how do you do that with your fingers? Yeah, that is I was going to make a Michael Fassbender Alien Covenant joke, but
I don't think that's
let's
good.
not do that. I don't think I have the delivery for that fingering.
No.
Ah, dear. So there you go. That's the mobile game. I think, honestly, this is probably going to be... it's going to be a hard fucking line. And I think if you're on one side of that line, this game's probably going to be a banger and you'll enjoy it. If you're not on that side of the line, it doesn't fucking matter. You're not going to enjoy it. It's not going to be for you. I think that's essentially it. I think Blizzard also almost certainly know that. Doesn't really take away from World of Warcraft. I guess it could add to their company performance. But you do see this, and I think you do see a pretty transparent desire to, really scale, really grow. If you think, like, how much money does it cost to make this game? Right? A lot of money, but relatively speaking, not much.
Yeah, based on the team size they showed off there, including paying Corey Stockton and Tom Chilton, probably quite expensive overall, but...
Compared to World of Warcraft.
Exactly.
Fuck all.
Yep.
And I remember, I think we were talking about something on the news channel that we have. By the way, yeah, we have a news channel, just in case you didn't know. Somebody got in contact with us, and I ended up losing the email, but... everything just gets buried for me. But anyway, they basically said, it was somebody who works in a studio like that, and they basically said, look, for the amount of development cost that it takes to make this game, this is so much more profitable. The big companies look at how much it takes to staff up King with core development staff and how much money they get as a return. And I think they just think, like, what the do that? And I think as well, when you look at a game like a Candy Crush or maybe even a Warcraft Arc Light Rumble, there's one really big cost that's very easy to scale and has a very clear output, and that is your CPA, your cost per acquisition. A lot of this is just going to be, a lot of the spend, a lot of the expense for a game like this is going to go into, I can't believe I've forgotten the word for it. Is it performance marketing? I forget the word anyway. But the very obvious thing of we spend X amount in advertising dollars, we can clearly track that it led to Y amount of spend. And they're just going to be able to blast that through, and there you go. I think as well, this is a game that has a lot more initial approachability than Hearthstone. So much more. So I think that this is an easier game for people to start playing than Hearthstone.
For sure.
As well. And I mean, certainly, whenever you start Hearthstone, you feel like you've just been like rammed full of advertisements. Which I imagine to a new player would be quite a daunting and confusing experience.
Yep. Or maybe they're just so used to it because they're playing it on mobile that they're like, oh wait, I only have to click through 5 ads and I don't have to watch a 30-second unskippable advert to play this game. Holy shit, this is one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah.
It's grim how bad the mobile market is, especially in the not, oh, I've heard of a good game, I'm going to play it. In the, oh, I'm going to scroll on my phone and see what's good. Especially on the Google Play Store, as compared to looking for what Apple will give you, you can end up in some real bad places. Yeah. But I think I don't know. It's hard to say how this will do in the long term. All I know is they definitely have a target audience in mind, and I think they bit the bullet on loads of old World of Warcraft players will just be furious at this, but they'll come back to our game. Hopefully, it's fine. Because they'd made a very deliberate decision to put on the associate game director, and I can't remember the lady's title.
I forget her title.
Yeah, but
I think they both did an excellent job.
Yeah, they did an excellent job at the style they're aiming for.
Well, to have a video of that style land and not be cringe is a fucking feat.
That's the thing.
That's what shocked me.
Yeah.
That should have been so much more embarrassing to watch than it was, and I think they did a good job.
That's exactly the thing where I didn't think it was very cringe. I was looking at the execution stuff, but obviously chat here and on the actual reveal were very, very, very assured it was extremely cringe.
Towley's played it.
Yeah, so I think that's a thing where they just kind of went, okay, well, we know we're not going to put the actual, the full game director. I'm assuming the game director title goes to Tom Chilton.
It's confirmed.
Probably.
Tom Chilton is the game director of
War. Yeah, so they went, okay, we'll put the I guess the new blood
Hammers
out,
up everyone
and they'll show off who they are. We'll get them to lead it all in this new style. almost like the old guard handing off. And that's just
Holy
what
shit.
they went for.
Matt, this is something. This is the start of a new era.
Oh dear
It
God.
is time for us, my dude, to make some React content.
But
By the way...
But Ludwig said that doesn't work on YouTube very much.
Well, there you go. By the way, return to this channel in like 47.5 hours from now for the proper reveal and developer stream of the mobile game.
Oh, no,
We're literally not making
no.
a mobile game.
No,
it doesn't ship in mobile.
Nope, it ships
Just
on.
been talking about mobile games for so long. The game that we are making, The Pill Beyond. Thomas is going to be on board. We are going to have a playable demo on Steam from the 5th to the 9th. So you'll get a bit of director's commentary and showcase from us on the live stream on this channel in essentially literally 2 days from now, as well as a Q&A. It is a narrative, survival, role-playing game. If you like making choices and being, super fucking immersed in the fantasy of a game, sort of game you can shack up over the weekend, and you know those weekends where you just get super immersed in a game and like your whole Sundays disappear, but you're like, oh man, I got an experience. In the same way that maybe a mini series will come out like Severance or something, and you just watch the whole fucking thing at once, and you're like, oh man, my day is gone, but I'm glad I had that experience. That's the kind of thing we're shooting for. So yes, stay tuned for our game in 2 days. And now that I have done some promo. Got a, lttstore.com and etc. and so forth. Let's do React. So Towley, of course, the World of Warcraft streamer.
Everyone, and welcome to Warcraft Arclight Rumble.
Hello,
A
Towley.
Warcraft mobile action strategy game designed from the ground up.
Hang on, let's have a look at this.
Could you bump volume a bit there? Can you?
No, you're going to have to do that in your end.
All right. I'll give it a try.
We have a special mission for Agent Mad. Can he make the bar go?
A Blizzard. So this is what they've been working on for the last...
Okay, so immediately I saw something, and sorry, Towley, this is going to be a start-stop pausey stream, I'm afraid. But because he actually has the game client open
Mobile
here,
action strategy.
we'll be able to infer a whole bunch. So this is the skulls. And the skulls, you get a skull whenever you pass a level. That, of course, is our Yum Yum money. This would be his overall account level. We look here, Alwyn Forest. So, I mean, hey, Morgan the Collector. Remember that?
Remember that?
I remember Morgan the Collector because, so at the time we were doing WoW Tales. We basically rewrote the entire of Alwyn Forest. We did a whole bunch, there's a custom shit, loads of custom shit, to basically bring the story of Elwyn Forest in our head. We needed to make it on par with Suramar, with as much, actually, we would have had more voice acting than Suramar. Unfortunately, the lawyers shut us down after it. I mean, we were literally okay per their Adam Ballsy, but anyway, part of that, though, is... I am fucking aware of every aspect of Morgan the Collector's character. How that motherfucker ties into Vanessa Van Cleef, the entire fucking story. Most people don't know that because they barely tell it in the game. Anyway, so clearly they're having these guys as bosses. Kind of positioned as quests here. Is this like a quest log? We got, claim reward Dockmaster.
Yeah, definitely.
A wanted poster for Hogger, just like the original...
Yeah.
Little thing that we get.
Game
I remember
designed
that.
from the ground
Remember.
up by Blizzard. So this is what they've
Oh
been
my
working
god, he got 60
on
conquest.
for the last couple of years. It's finally here. I'm excited for the announcement. Now they're calling this a tower offense more than a tower defense game, but in reality, it's an action strategy game. So what you got to do in the game is you build a force of minis. You start with your leaders. You got your leaders and your minis. Your leaders are like Grom, Hellscream, Jaina, Baron Rivendare, Sneed, General Drac, and so many more. There's a lot of them.
6
The game has a
slots.
huge single-player experience with over 70 missions, and then you're also going to have weekly and monthly challenges in the form of dungeons, epic raids. Yeah, man, you heard right. Epic raids and more. Now you can also...
Hell yeah, brother. Okay, so those are coming as weekly and monthly challenges, which I guess is the part of this that is going to give someone a reason to log in, and then I presume you'll have
FOMO.
So you can have a big chunk of rewards for that, but then also maybe it'll be the case that beating the raid boss, that could be where some of the monetization comes in. as in you will really want to feel like you have a maxed out, super progressed pack of lads, so that you're strong enough to defeat the raid boss to get like the big bing bing wahoo at the end of the dragon.
Co-op mode and competitive PvP. I tried a bit of the PvP and I was not good at it, as you might have already guessed, but we can only improve with time, right? You can also form guilds, so Hammer Squad, get ready. Now there's over 60 heroes, villains, monsters, and more from the Warcraft universe that have been rendered as tabletop style minis for you to collect, level up, and improve with talents. Now,
kind of just makes me want to see Blizzard go and like, I'm not going to say grab Games Workshop because you'd probably pay $30 for a single fucking sprue, but you'd almost want like a tabletop. Anyway,
asked them about the minis. Will we get the minis like
resources
in IRL as like toys that we can buy on the store? Because that would be awesome, but there is no plan for that as of right now. So I can't wait to see all the crazy builds the community comes up with for this game. So for now, sit back and enjoy the gameplay footage for Warcraft Arc Like Rumble. I'm gonna have a lot more content on the channel for this new mobile game coming out soon. TM, enjoy, and hammers up.
All right, so I guess we actually just have some gameplay footage to react to then. Yeah, so spawning in the Knights or whatever, they are rank 5. Ranks go up between matches as you get XP for them. I've noticed here, see that little arrow? It seems like you'll be able to tap in the arrow to change the routing of those characters.
Like a train.
Which, I don't know if Clash Royale does that, but like, it's layers of strategy that I appreciate being here.
Yeah, it gives them a lot of room for map design to be vaguely interesting.
Yeah, that could really help prevent this being stale.
It certainly does take the action strategy. Definitely more strategy than action. That's for sure. I hope there's like a double speed mode or something.
Oh, especially with this being a PvE game.
Yeah.
Because of course that would never work in a PvP, but feature request, I guess.
Then our players would just use that to farm gold more efficiently, therefore making it the optimal way to play the game.
I want to have fun in my video games. Don't take it away from me.
Buy packs of minis, fucker!
Yeah. It's definitely hard to watch a game like this versus actually playing it.
Totally.
It would feel substantially better in your hands once you actually have agency, but watching you're like, yeah.
Well, that's one thing that I do like, the size of the maps. Like, it's enough you have to scroll around. That is bigger than some other entries in this genre. I've only played, like, the earlier stuff of Clash Royale, but it's all very much, like, just on your phone screen. There's no map to scroll around. So, if you can have multiple sort of skirmishes going on and a few different things to manage, that could certainly help keep the pace there.
It's the awkward part where you look at what they were saying, or what GameSpot were saying about it being classic Warcraft but bite-sized. Clearly tell that's something a marketing person wrote, as opposed to like, no, this is literally Warcraft. But it's like they tried to get that, but the packaging it's in is just going to annoy people no matter what, because it is. Here's a cutesy mobile game. It's like you'd have to have a super hard sell, and even then, gameplay's not everything.
Yeah. I think they have, given the sort of game they're trying to release, this is probably as best as they could have done. What would have got it for me is if they're able to tell Hearthstone Book of Mercenary style stories.
Doesn't look like it for me.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that. And if they did have that, then they could have at least said, and experience a retelling of this. Because there's so many, say, missions in Warcraft 2. People don't know shit about them.
Yeah.
But you could probably make like a little match like this and, like you just get a few lines of dialogue when you progress a bit, or they could have done like those themed campaigns, and that would have given enough of a content wrapper that it would feel like it was sort of expanding and being good for the Warcraft canon, as opposed to just being a coin-operated game in the Hearthstone Tavern, which seemingly is the framing right now. But if, let's just say, a year passes and they announce like a new mode for this that has some story to it, then I feel like there are some people who might just enjoy that, or even in the way that Hearthstone will sometimes completely just flip its mechanics out. Could they use this basic game format, set of controls, things like that, in a different way to tell a little bit of a story? I don't know. I know that story's not everything for a game, but I'm just thinking about how much the Book of Mercenaries and those little narrative things make Hearthstone feel like just a bit more than it is.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the thing that made a lot of, well, this is very much my perspective, but what made Hearthstone worth playing after like the novelty of the card game wore off and was like, oh yeah, well, I'm not going to be spending so much on cards forever. The fact that it kept having that actual narrative content was the kind of the value in it, the novelty, the fun, actual kind of puzzles and stuff they set up for you, the fun new modes, and the fact there's narrative to them. Even silly stuff like One Night in Karazhan was like, that's actually fun, but it looks like there's no framework for this yet for it to be there. Depends on maybe the quality of the raids and stuff, but it's like, if it's just, oh yeah, the boss is an Ixia, you're in a cave, that's not really enough, I think, for what you would expect, honestly, for sure.
Yeah, so I guess I just have that feeling this will probably be like, it could even be the best game in this genre. And that's not going to be enough for probably most people who are just into WoW.
Because it's profoundly in this genre.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not even in this genre, like, in the action strategy genre. It's in the action strategy, open bracket, mobile, close bracket genre.
Yeah.
Which is very different to what people would have expected of Blizzard. If, like, as an example, if StarCraft Ghost came out, obviously that was external studio, so it wouldn't have had that quality, or, seemingly didn't. That's what happened. But it's like the cancelled StarCraft Battlefield that we've heard about. Back in the day, people would have expected that to come out of Blizzard and go, here's the big genre that all the gamers love. We've done our take on it. We've shamelessly ripped off a load of ideas, but we've put our own spin on it. We've had that like Blizzard flavor. We've put that care into it. It's good. Everyone loves it. That's what people would expect. So it's like, even if they do that in the mobile realm, it's still everyone's going to look and go, what's this kid shit? And there's no way they can get around that, no matter how much quality they pump into it or how much it's like, because it is going to be an over monetized way to just squeeze money out of people for minimal content, because mobile games are a profit scheme. You don't make a mobile game because you want to make a cool game. You make a mobile game because you want to make profit and have some fun during it. Maybe. I think that's kind of the wall they'll run into forever here.
Yeah.
Until they release another console game, which I don't know how long that'll be before they have a game that's on console and PC.
Ages 5, 10.
Yeah.
Could be 10 years before we see that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Well, until then, Blizzard fans will be looking at that and going, where the fuck's games for me?
Yeah. Again, it's like, man, if before this you pulled Todd Howard and just had the fucking logo Warcraft 4, and then it faded to black, and then it did this, then people would spend most of their be like, oh my god, Warcraft 4! And the perception would be better, because you're so right. It's the instilling of confidence that there is more going on in the Warcraft that we actually give a fuck about. Because ultimately, as much as I might sit here and think like, look, this looks like a great entry in the genre, this looks like a fun enough game to play in your phone, and also I like the Warcraft theme, so I'd be happy enough. This is totally like, for me, as the person who looks at Blizzard's, Active Blizzard's quarterly reports, and we make videos on them, we talk about them, we're really interested in the biz side. It's like, this is a really interesting thing. For almost everyone who just plays WoW and is thinking, where's my Warcraft 4? I want to see Warcraft 4. Where's the next big story?
Or where's my Reforged being fixed?
Yeah, where's Reforged being fixed? Like, even if, that's it, if you wanted this to be a free win, you would have said, logo, Warcraft 3 Reforged
sorry
plus or sorry or something like that, free update, and then it went to this.
Yeah, but
then again, it would have worked better. They
but
clearly have confidence that, as far as mobile games go, they have a good one, but I just think for so many more people, they needed more. What I really want to hear about is, like, we've got John Haidt as like general manager of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Ian's VP. What other things are they working on? How many fucking job openings have we seen for some sort of action game at Blizzard that we don't know about?
Exactly.
Like, apparently Diablo 4 was going to be taking on an over-the-shoulder camera action game under your man Josh, who was, I think, he's known for being integral in Reaper of Souls and Loot 2.0 and a lot of those things that turned that game around. Now, think about the technical requirements to do that game. Surely they would have the bones to do a Warcrafty thing there. In that, it's like, I don't know, but I just want to know: are there big PC titles in development in the Warcraft franchise?
If there is one, I don't think anyone who's, been handy to say or like has said anything. And that's the awkward thing, where if no one's hearing a whisper of it, then there almost certainly is either no plan or a plan that's deeply in the works. And given how many Blizzard employees there are, and especially the amount of people would require, and even the amount of outsourcing they would put on a game like that, given they've taken all their resources that aren't Blizzard directly over to Call of Duty, that's the thing where it's like, clearly not. Clearly not. But that's the thing where I don't know, it's like they're trying to plow on ahead with the best, like, immediate tactical move for, like, getting money in and, what's the next product that we make in our overall product line. But it's almost like they're, how do I put it? It's almost like the house they're in is on fire, product line, but they're, like, straightening up the carpet or, like, brushing the floor when the house is on fire. It's like you need to put the fire out and then you can tidy up afterwards.
And
that's what it feels like. Obviously, that's not what they're doing because they have different games in development, different pipelines and stuff. But that's very much what it feels like to the actual, like, publisher. Or, sorry, the publisher? What am I talking about? The user, the player. And I think that's what's most important more than anything else, is how the players and the Blizzard fans perceive the reality they're going to, like, engage with. And it's a pretty... I don't want to say it's super grim, but it's not really promising. It's not super hype. It's not super exciting. And Blizzard keep trying to pretend it is, but it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So much is just going to depend on where people are going into this.
Yep.
I think that me and you have a level of detachment because we...
Oh, I'm broken. Like,
we don't... I mean, we do as players when we're playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
But even in the news channel, like, we focus on MAUs. We look at their profitability. So we almost have this quite detached 40,000-foot view, kind of looking down on it, thinking, not in that very close to the game experience, close to the player's experience. Yeah. So I think for us, we just have a different perception of this. It's like almost impossible for me or you to feel disappointed or offended or anything like that by a game like this, because we are coming from a perspective of analyzing Blizzard as a business, comparing the MAUs of Blizzard to Activision, seeing what Warzone and COD Mobile did. So it's like we see this, it's expected, we're thinking about its impact on MAUs. But I think for so many people too, they're playing World of Warcraft. They're like, what's Blizzard going to do next? I remember wishing I could go to a BlizzCon as a kid. Now, I'm a bit older, but I just love playing WoW or whatever Blizzard game on the weekends when I get some free time, just like I was a kid. Oh, what are they going to have next? And then you see it's Diablo Immortal and Clash Royale, Arclight, smashing whatever. Mm-hmm. And then... that person going to think, wow, Blizzard knows me and wants to make games for me? No, they're not going to think that.
Nope, not at all. And that's a thing where I think we're almost on the same page as Blizzard in terms of what they should do from the C-suite level.
Totally.
But it's like, because for me to try to understand how a lot of people are feeling, I do have to run through an emulation layer.
That's it.
Yeah, I do have to. I do have to translate. Like, it's like, okay, well, let me put myself in the shoes of you guys who are trying to just enjoy like Blizzard stuff and feel tremendously disappointed by everything. It's like, yeah, there's no doubt that there's people going to go, it's all right, looks pretty cool, and others will be like, what? Why the fuck did I play World of Warcraft for 18 years?
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to end up like this. I didn't expect it to be a kids' mobile game is what they focused on. Well, the game I play is burning down around me. Obviously, they're promising fixes with Dragonflight and stuff. But it's like, where the fuck's my Warcraft games? Blizzard, where are my World of Warcraft games? It's like, sorry, you're not a whale. Go fuck yourself. Is there not their literal response, but the implied response? It's like
That's how it's gonna feel.
They don't care about you. That's what it's going to feel like. They do eventually, but you're further down the line. You're not the free win for them. You're the hard sell.
The developers do. The question is who greenlights shit and why does it get greenlit? That's I mean, that is the big thing. So the Warcraft 3 Reforged developers, I am sure they heard about that and thought, wait, I get to remaster and partially reimagine and remake my favorite game of all time? Holy fuck, sign me up.
Yeah, I mean,
and then the people with the coin purse do what they do.
Yeah, I mean, because what we know about that is they had bigger plans, they had more plans,
They did.
and then the C-suite boys came in and went, okay, no more money, ship it. And they're like, what? It's not done. They're like, yeah, well, we told everyone it's done, took pre-orders and set a release date, so good luck. You're like, fuck.
Yeah. People got their World of Warcraft meat wagon. I am fairly sure that the World of Warcraft meat wagon, like, that probably made them more fucking money than the making Warcraft 3 Reforged bit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so look, there we go, everyone. I think that is it for today's stream. We will, of course, keep an eye on all this stuff, see what the crack is. To leave you with something, we do, of course, have the gameplay demo of The Pale Beyond, our video game, which will be out in a few days. There's the Steam page. If you want to help us out, then you could always hit that wish list button on Steam, which truly does help us. Hang on. These are new screenshots.
Yeah.
Because if you look here, you can see a very old version of that UI. I mean, I edited this fucking trailer, and I can't even find the shot. Well, there you go. I'm just a moron. Hello, dog. Yes, hello, dog. Oh, man. I'm not going to say anything that comes to my mind. Anyway, there you go. Some updated screenshots. Fun. Yes.
Oh, what a...
It was very fun
Okay.
because at one point we had a very different mode of navigation. And then we really just decided to go for like the top down, which would let us make far more things far more rich and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, our game will be something that you can technically play in a few days. There will be bugs, and the reporting of said bugs will help us. I mean, we've already spent a good few £1,000 on QA. Sort of, if you want to throw in any QA for free, we'd fucking appreciate that. Turns out you can never have enough QA.
Yeah, that's why,
Exactly. You can never have enough QA. But things should be to a reasonable enough standard where you can have a playthrough of what's coming out. And it's a chunky enough demo too. It'll take you well over an hour. Yep. So, a bunch of music, bunch of gameplay, a bunch of stuff. Me and Thomas, though, on the release date of the demo, May 5th. It's playable from May 5th to May 9th. Those Steam event demos? It's one of those. So we will be doing a stream at 6:30 p.m. British Standard Time, which... I call, in my head, Central European Standard Time is just called server time. And actually, I'm going to France for like a quick little holiday in like a week. And one of the first things that came into my head was, oh, wow, I can look at my phone and it will be server time. That tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it? But anyway, so me and Thomas will be at 6:30 p.m. BST. So basically 47 hours from now. We will, we have a lot of work to make that happen. Anyway, 47 hours from now, me and Thomas will be doing a live playthrough of a few different things, talking through some of our thoughts, design process, things like that. If you've got any questions about the game, about game development, any of the stuff, get as nerdy as you want. Ask us. We will be live to answer your questions and have a chat about things. And then, of course, the very next day at 6:30 BST, me and Matt will be back for our regular weekly show.
Yep, I'm sure there's lots of Warcraft news will happen in the next couple of days. Or maybe a lot more stuff about this will come out. Maybe we'll just be in a place that's on fire. Who knows? But we'll soon see.
Oh, man. Yeah. So, okay. That's it. hey, you know what? At least we got some stuff to react to. We had a bit of fun, even if the game's maybe not for all of us. Yeah. So, hey, fuck it. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. That's right. Have a great evening, everybody. There should be some WoW content either on the channel in like an hour or maybe tomorrow because it's getting a bit late.
Yeah, probably tomorrow.
But yeah, probably tomorrow. Okay. There'll be a video on the WoW channel tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Have a brilliant evening, everybody.